What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mobile video. So today I want to talk about something very interesting that may be coming to this game at some point. So as you guys remember, there was a Q&A that the Chinese devs for COD Mobile have made, and they talked a lot about wildcards and, type of stuff that may be planned in the future for those wildcards. But there were also different subjects that were discussed, specifically with loadouts. So if you guys know, we have like 10 loadouts in this game that we're basically able to use as we level up, as well as the extra loadout, which is basically the trial loadout, but for anyone that's already completed everything in the game, or at least unlocked everything, that could kind of serve as like an 11th loadout. However, for these 5 years that this game has been out, we've never really received any major updates when it came to loadouts. I mean, yeah, of course, we just received the wildcard update, but I'm talking about more of capacity-based stuff. What I mean by that is we never really got an increase in loadouts throughout these 5 years that the game has been out. There was never an update where we were given maybe 5 extra loadouts or maybe a way to unlock more loadouts. That probably would have been something that would have been a lot more of an incentive for people to level up faster. Maybe having more loadout unlocks, by adding more levels. So like maybe every 10 levels or maybe every 5 levels, you get an extra loadout. Probably one of the main reasons is because no one has really ever complained about having 10 loadouts. But of course, it's not something that usually escapes people's minds. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys that have played this game for years have wondered, why haven't we gotten extra loadouts? It's probably a question that may pop out every now and then in your brains. But I think we've already reached the point where we do need to ask the question, when is that actually going to happen? And if it does, how is it going to be unlocked? So again, someone did ask whether or not loadout slots would be added in multiplayer at some point, and they actually did answer by saying that they are going to be bringing more within this year of 2025. Okay, so that's one thing cleared. We do have an answer, and yes, they are bringing more loadout slots into COD Mobile. That's great. But the question is now, how is it going to be administered? We saw by the wildcards, some people weren't really happy how that turned out because to unlock more wildcards, we have to play ranked matches. In fact, we need to play 20 ranked matches to even unlock a single wildcard, which I have actually done, and I think I already have enough to buy another wildcard, but I decided to save that 100 for, I guess, whenever a better wildcard comes out, because I really don't see myself using the bomber wildcard or even the tactical shift one. So, I mean, those seem pretty useless to me, and I'm hoping that I could save up my points just to get one that may be good, like, let's say, a gunfighter wildcard. So, again, it's not an unreasonable thing to ask how this is going to happen, because, of course, it's pretty stupid to have us gain wildcards only through ranked. It should have been more of a multiplayer thing. If anything, their original idea was actually pretty good, where we had to use one wildcard for a certain amount of time before we unlock another wildcard. I think that was actually a pretty good idea. But it would have been effective if you were able to do that in just normal multiplayer so people could get it done a little bit faster. Had they done that for ranked, it probably would have been more of an issue. But with loadouts, it's a little bit different because, again, they could always add more levels in the future, and maybe throughout those levels you could unlock more loadouts, or maybe by some miracle they might have it so that we just automatically get them. Or for the worst possible outcome for these loadouts, they make us pay for them. And I know I wouldn't put it past Activision to do that, because I think at some point, I think it was one of the Call of Duty games where they actually, if you want to get more loadouts, you could actually buy more loadouts. But it wasn't really expensive. I mean, it wasn't like you had to pay like $100 to get like 10 loadouts. It was more of like pay like $199 to unlock like 10 more loadouts. It was something like that. I think it was in Black Ops 2. I'm not really sure. But in one of those Call of Duty games, they gave you the option to buy more loadouts. But knowing how predatory microtransactions are nowadays, if they were to do that, they'll probably have a pretty hefty price. And if anything, they'll probably sell them individually. So it'll probably be like maybe 500 or 1,000 COD points for every loadout. And a lot of people wouldn't be happy about it. But again, I mean, we're all suckers. I mean, you've seen all the skins that I have. But the question is now, do we actually need these loadouts? And I mean, obviously we do. I mean, that's basically the simple answer. But of course, I mean, we've lasted 5 years without having extra loadouts. I think we would survive if they didn't even come up with this in the first place. So, I mean, I think we would have done just fine. But to me personally, I think with loadouts, it would be kind of nice to have them, especially when you're leveling up. This is something that I do take issue with, because I do have like a lot of weapon bonuses that I have to keep on my class setups. So that basically restricts me down to like maybe 2 or 3 class setups that you could use on my own. And again, I don't really think you have to use those weapon bonuses to actually get those XP bonuses, because whenever I do take them out, I do get less XP. So I think it's pretty much all but confirmed that you don't have to use those weapons. So long as you have them on your loadouts, like the bonus percentage will kind of just stack up. But again, I mean, I don't want to be stuck using those weapons until I reach the next level cap. I don't think anyone wants to be restricted like that. So it would be nice to have like maybe 5 extra class setups that I could choose from to have a little bit more variety instead of having to constantly change weapons because I'm bored of using, I don't know, the KN-44 or something. But it'd be nice also to like have extra class setups, because I've always wanted to have like 20 class setups, right? 10 for just normal objective multiplayer modes such as like team deathmatch and hardpoint, but I would also like to have like maybe 5 or even 10 loadouts where it's, you know, reserved specifically for search and destroy. It would save us a lot of time having to like change our class setups around to support search and destroy, because I know a lot of people like to have speed classes where they have just a regular weapon and a melee to kind of like get the, I guess, the advantage in terms of like how search and destroy controls, which I understand. That's something I want too. And not only that, I would like to also have class setups for, you know, maybe even team deathmatch alone. Maybe I could have setups where I have score streaks that are catered to team deathmatch rather than hardpoint all the time. For team deathmatch loadouts, I could have smaller things such as maybe a UAV, a predator missile, maybe a sentry gun or a napalm strike, stuff that I normally don't use. But for a hardpoint objective game modes, I could have loadouts that have like attack helicopters, maybe a orbital laser, or even like just what's it, the airstrike or whatever it's called. Basically, we could have a more diverse set of loadouts that kind of cater to every situation that you need. But since we haven't had that in 5 years, I kind of had to set my loadouts in a way that it tries its best to suit every situation possible. Because I don't have enough loadouts to diversify all my setups, you know, like I can't do that. But even when we do get these loadouts, I don't expect them to just pump out just 10 at once. I'm assuming that maybe they'll add one every major update season, maybe 2. You know, I feel like this is going to be more of an incremental type of thing. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts on these extra loadouts that we may be getting later on in the future. And hell, we might actually get in the next major update. Who knows? They've been pretty much popping off this entire time with these major updates. So, I mean, I'm actually excited every single time we do get one. But anyways, have a wonderful day, guys.